Wrestling fans, if you like what you've seen, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also don't forget to ring that bell.
Wrestling Real Talk and Throwdown Theatre right here in Chillicothe, Ohio, standing next to an old friend of mine, believe it or not.
Yeah.
It's a true story.
We go
but
way back.
That's
way
right.
Back.
I'm talking
Seats
about
in a Cadillac.
the greatest Intercontinental Champion of
Of
all
all
time, the great Honky Tonk Man. Honky, how you doing?
Rude Boy's in the house.
That's right,
he
man.
walks up to me. He's got the baseball cap on. He's looking at me and he says, "I'm Rude Boy." I thought, "Oh man, what the heck's going on, God?" But we'd seen each other last year, 2 years ago in Detroit, I guess it was. Yeah.
Honky, how you been, man?
I'm hanging on, man. I'm still glued together and still out here doing my thing, you know. That's that. I just do these signings. That's all I do. No more wrestling.
How many years did you work when you did work full time?
47.
47 years, and that took you from Memphis all the way to Calgary, all around the world.
Everywhere, yeah. Lived in Puerto Rico for a year. I lived in Pensacola. I lived in Atlanta. I lived in Nashville, Memphis, San Antonio, Calgary. I mean, it's kind of like the when the Grateful Dead were having that trial in California, and they would ask them questions. They said, "Man, it was all a haze."
That's what it was, especially the 80s?
Yeah, I mean, we had fun, though, you know. I mean, we were young and stupid and having fun. And there was no cell phone and no internet, so we could get away with a lot of stuff.
Let me ask you this, Honky. You've had several championships throughout the years. Now, whatever happened, there was never really that one big title run with you and Hogan.
Never got it. I was promised that run, and you know, everybody was promised that run, but that's the way Vince would entice you to come on board and you know, play ball and follow the rules, hoping you'd get that run. But once I got the Intercontinental title, then I was in a different town than Hogan, because whoever I was wrestling for, myself and Macho Man Savage, we were sold out on one coast. Hogan was sold out on the other coast. And the only time I had 3 matches with Hogan.
Those were on TV, right? On Saturday Night Main Event?
One of them was Saturday Night Main Event, and I think there was another one we were in a tag match. And then we had another tag match in the Meadowlands, New Jersey. I was only 3 times with him, and they were wonderful. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
he's a great guy anyway. You know, if there's a Mount Rushmore and they talk about this guy or that guy, there's only one mountain, and it's Hulk Hogan's picture on it. You know, he changed the business.
He did. He did. He literally did. Would you say that Vince McMahon had something to do with that as well?
Oh yeah. Vince put the money behind it, and Vince had a vision. He was people that become billionaires are visionaries, and he had a vision that how he wanted to take this wrestling from fairgrounds and from small high school gyms and National Guards and armories, and he had a vision to put it in stadiums like rock concerts, and by golly, he did it.
He absolutely did it. He absolutely did. You my friend.
He didn't mind spending the money to do it. He invested a lot. I mean, he put it out there, and he would rent these buildings, and so, I mean, sometimes we didn't have sellouts every night, but when this thing started clicking, it was sold out around the world, everywhere we went.
Brother, you wrestled in front of almost 94,000.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing. What was it like working with Alice Cooper?
You know, when they said, now at the end, Jake will bring the snake out, and Alice Cooper said, "Yeah, okay, we do that in my act, we do that in my concerts." And he said, "Let me see it." And Jake pulls out this 90-pounder, and he went, "Oh, God, I don't handle loads that big." He said, "Man, I can't do that." Yeah, he was afraid.
Oh, my God.
So then if you fans watch it back, Jake will take this big snake, and Cooper's like, "I don't know," and he just puts it in his arms, and then they drop it on Jimmy Hart.
Honky, we're at the point of the show where I'm going to throw 5 names at you.
Okay.
Just tell me what you think real quickly about these 5 random names.
Okay.
Colonel Tom Parker.
Oh, you know, and he was a promoter, and, you know, he took half of everything.
Did he ever try to take anything from you?
No.
likeness of Elvis?
No, because look, anybody can have sideburns, anybody can have black hair. And I never said I was Elvis. I never said that. I always said I was better than him.
Sherry Martel.
Fabulous. Sherry. I met Sherry when Sherry was a dancer at the club in Memphis at Danny's Cabaret and in Memphis many years ago. Fabulous dancer, good talent, and a great person. She was a good girl. I liked her. And she was our Peggy Sue.
Yeah.
When we did the Peggy Sue, she dressed up and she was Peggy Sue.
With the blonde wig?
Yes.
Jimmy Hart.
I owe a lot to Jimmy because he wasn't just an in-ring manager. He actually pushed me when I would, be hungover and stay out late. He pushed me to get up and do radio and morning TV, drive time radio to promote us and promote these shows that we were on. And I understand, it got me to understand promotion because he worked with Dick Clark, and Dick Clark always told Paul Revere and the Raiders, Jimmy Hart and the Gentrys, and Sonny and Cher, if you dress like the audience, you'll be sitting in the audience. And so that's what my whole thing was. I loved wrestling, but I'm an entertainer. This is entertainment business. It's just called professional wrestling, that's all.
I'm going to say it, Mr. Eric Bischoff.
I don't know why he never liked me, and
why does he continuously bury you?
I don't, I guess they have to have something to talk about. Of all the hundreds of guys, I don't know why he picks on me, but that's okay. I don't give a shit.
When you came to WCW, it was like a breath of fresh air. It seriously was. When you had your feud with Johnny B. Bad.
Yeah. He told me in the very beginning, he said, I don't like your gimmick, and the only reason I brought you in is because Jimmy Hart won't leave me alone. I said, well, I hope I change your mind. And that's about all we ever said to each other.
Wow.
Yeah.
Last name. Think real hard about this one. Mr. Wayne Ferris.
Boy, I tell you what a transformation. I went from a school teacher, a shy, humble country boy that wouldn't raise his hand in the classroom, but when the teachers would ask, when you were like third grade, fourth grade, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I always said, pro sports and entertainment. And I was lucky enough to be in both. Even though it's pro wrestling, people don't call it pro sports, it is. And I was in the entertainment business. And I went from a school teacher after that to growing long blonde hair, cutting my head and bleeding all over, death-defying matches, and then all of a sudden, black hair and sideburns, put a jumpsuit on, I was a Honky Tonk Man.
I got to ask this one last question. Was Dr. D. David Schultz as crazy as they say?
I love David to death. He had a short fuse. I'd tell you what, he would, if David was like Andre the Giant, if he liked you, he liked you. And if he didn't like you, he would tell you, I don't like you. But he was the honest guy. He told you the truth. He didn't have to make up nonsense. I traveled with him. We stayed together in hotels and shared apartments. He is Dr. D. David Schultz. He is that guy. And
you wasn't surprised when he smacked...
No, that was... he'd hit a whole bunch of people before that.
Honky Tonk Man, it's been a pleasure having you on today.
It's good.
Always great seeing you, my friend.
The Rude Boy.
Honky Tonk.
Tell me about that dog collar match you had with Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Oh, the dog collar match.
He was stiff, wasn't he?
Oh, my God, was he? Oh. And I was so glad when you came out and saved me when Beefcake jumped me.
Yeah.
That was great. We've known each other a long time, my friend, and thank you so much for taking time right here. We're right here, Wrestling Real Talk and Throwdown Theatre with the great Intercontinental, greatest of all time champion, Mr. Honky Tonk Man.
Thank you very much.